everyone. This is the last word. A very happy new year to all the viewers of NDTV. On the show tonight, the United Nations has declared 2025 as a target year for achieving gender equality and empowering all women and girls as part of the Sustainable Development Goals, or the SDGs. And the SDGs aim to end all forms of discrimination against women and girls, end all forms of violence against women and girls, recognize and value unpaid care and domestic work. Gender equality is not only a fundamental human right, but a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. There has been progress over the last decades, but the world is not really on track to achieving gender equality anytime soon. Women and girls represent half of the world's population and therefore also half of its potential. On an average, women in the labor market still earn 23% less than men globally, and women spend about 3 times as many hours in unpaid domestic and care work as men. Worldwide, nearly half of married women lack decision-making power over their sexual and reproductive health and rights. 35% of women between 15 and 49 years of age have experienced physical or sexual violence at some stage or the other. Today, as we usher in a new year, I speak for women everywhere. We are the doers, the change makers. In 2025, we want more than just equality, we want equity, we want justice. We want to be seen, to be heard, and to be valued for who we are as individuals, as leaders, and also as forces for change. We want to occupy the corners of power, to hold the levers of decision making, and to shape the policies that govern our lives. We want education that empowers, healthcare that heals, and economic opportunities that uplift. We want to be free from the shackles of patriarchy, to break the chains of oppression, and to forge our own paths. We want to be celebrated for our diversity, our complexity, and our multifaceted identities. The future is female. So on the show tonight, we speak to 7 women and ask them what do they want from 2025. Joining me on the show, Dr. Neelam Mohan. She is the Senior Director, Department of Pediatric Hepatology and Liver Transplantation at Medanta Medicity Hospital. Medha Priya is designer and architect. Brinda Adige, social and women activist. We have Khushbu Jain, advocate of the Supreme Court. Sanchita Mukherjee, managing partner, Talk the Walk. Shagun Chaudhary is the first woman to represent at the Olympics shotgun. We also have Dr. Jyoti Gupta, who is the director of the Sri Ram Universal School, Ghaziabad. I'm going to begin with you, Sanchita Mukherjee. You know, to talk the walk, it's important that we go beyond just the usual that we keep saying in terms of women, what women need or what women want. As a woman who's an economist herself, what do you want out of 2025?
Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's really an honor. And my answer would be very pointed. Whilst we all talk about representation and gender equality, pay equality, economic empowerment, financial independence, financial literacy, skill development, and all of that, my basic need and want as a woman in India specifically would be to see a massive, massive overall of the judicial and the police reforms in this country. Because I think within India, the safety and security of women should be the paramount need of the hour. There is a lot of work which has happened in terms of giving mudra loans, skill and development, all of that, self-help groups, and a lot more is on the anvil. Women are actually joining in massive numbers in the workforce. Women are doing well on the education front. Women are really pushing back. But for us to succeed as a society, it's very, very important to have the law enforcement and a recourse to the judiciary. Most developed nations where women do really well, they do have a recourse to law enforcement and judiciary as a backup. Hence, looking forward to police reforms, looking forward to judicial reforms is something that I would want as a woman in
so
India.
Dr. Neelam Mohan, 2024 saw that horrific rape and murder in RG Kar Medical Hospital that of course shook the conscience of an entire nation. We saw the entire country outraging, but it raised questions about women being unsafe in their workspaces. As someone who is a doctor in a hospital, one of the prominent hospitals of the entire country, what are your concerns? And what do you
Thank you so
want?
much, Myra, for having me over to speak on a subject which deeply resonates with us. And I think one of the first thing I would like to talk about is the safety of women professionals in healthcare, because we've all have seen the brutal loss of life of a young doctor in Car Hospital. And I know it is beyond the scope of today's discussion and debate to discuss why and what things were done in need of that. But one thing was crystal clear, which resonates with everybody, is that women, including the healthcare professionals, which could be even the nursing staff, etc., are definitely unsafe. And while they're working tirelessly and selflessly to save patients, here they are going to put themselves at risk, which is totally not justified. So, what would I like to ask for 2025? Number one, I would say that we would need a robust safety system, a robust safety system. Number two, there should be definite protocols and laws, and these laws should be able to have some immediate action, which is anybody trying to harm the healthcare professionals, immediate action needs to be taken. Presently, we all see the doctors have been consistently talking about certain laws which gives them protection, not only against violence, but here we are moving from violence to life issues and others. So at this, on the same note, if I'm allowed to talk, I would also include the need for respect, dignity at the workplace, which includes, though the POSH Act came long back, but I'm sure there are many medical institutions which, as per the survey, are not aware of this POSH Act, which means prevention of sexual harassment at work.
Right.
So when it comes to, the nursing, there are 88% Indian statistics say they are women, and the doctors are 30% plus overall in all subjects. So these laws need to be identified. Maybe there is a need of the media to talk about this. Though there is a POSH law, its enforcement in institutions is not uniform.
Okay.
And that awareness, and they should be able to talk out about it without any fear. That is also a message.
Point well
that
taken,
needs
ma'am.
to be.
Shagun, come in now. Indian sportsmen, women, have given us thousands of reasons to cheer in 2024, because of the successes that we saw at multiple platforms. As we enter this year, we have already entered. What is your anticipation? What are your expectations of this year?
So first of all, Happy New Year, everyone. And what I expect from 2025 is to make sports a safer place for women.
Yes.
And clearly everybody's on the same page as we talk about safety for women is extremely important. We have to understand one thing, that the shelf life of a woman athlete is far more shorter than a male athlete. And we reduce it further by not giving them facilities where they feel safe. What we are doing is, by what we saw with the Wrestling Federation, what happened there, it reached worldwide press, and everyone's eyes were on India and whether women should actually take up sports in India. If we don't have a zero tolerance policy in India in place, in order to have measures that prevent sexual harassment, that prevent any sort of mental harassment to women, we are not going to go any further. And that will happen by more representation for women in the administration of sports, which we don't have. What Australia has done now is they have a minimum representation of 40% women in their sports administration. That gives the female athletes access to in order to talk about their fears and what they're going through. If there's only male representation, the administrations, where if we suffer through anything, we have nobody to talk to. And I think that is one thing that needs to change. We're talking about safety in India. We're talking about safety in sport. We're talking about women taking up leadership roles in sport, mentoring younger kids, being there for the younger generation so that they feel safe in order to take up and give India enough reason to cheer even in the future for all the medals that they win. So that is what I'm expecting out of 2025, especially for as far as sports safety is concerned.
Yes, Dr. Jyoti Gupta, you have a greater responsibility of nurturing young children, girls and boys. And again, 2024 was horrific in terms of what happened in Maharashtra. On campus, girls, minors being molested. So it gave an impression that no space, be it outside public spaces or even those spaces which are considered to be safe, hospitals where this was a girl, she was a junior doctor, or these two minors being molested in Maharashtra. Do you think as a professional who is running a school, you'll have greater responsibility in ensuring that upbringing aspect actually comes into play here, because children invariably spend more time in schools than at home?
Absolutely. Gender sensitization is something that we are very particular about in the schools, and it's not just about the gender sensitization as to how do the boys respect girls, and they also are able to ensure the safety of their own peers, but it is also the safety of the children from the people who are around in the school, whether they are the class 4 workers, they are the drivers, they are the conductors, they are the teachers themselves. So it's very, very important. We do have the JJ Act, we do have the POXO Act, and we do ensure that we are doing the workshops for everybody in the school, be the teachers, the male teachers, the the employees, the admin employees, the class 4 employees, the senior children. So here we have to take a note of this, that if there is an incident that happens, then the punishment to the the person who is actually committing the offense has to be really severe, and the justice has to come really fast so that it can act as a deterrent for the others who are committing these kind of crimes. So the schools, are the places where now it is mandatory to have the CCTV cameras. It is mandatory that all the safety and security, we can look at those parameters beforehand, and we can ensure that they are all in place. But there are some people who come with these polluted minds and who do commit these crimes. So it's not about the children who are studying in the school who will commit crimes like this, but it is the people who come from outside. So the verification, the police verification of the people, everything has to be preempted. So whether it is a school head, or it is the district authorities, or it is the people who are involved in verification processes, etc., that has to be strengthened. Because I have seen in the past, we send the verification files, the verifications do not happen for months together, and then these people, they do the crimes, and they go away from there, and then later on
Yes, and
there
it's
are
because
people
of these
who are discussing about all
incidents
this
that we'll be seeing perhaps an increase in school dropout rate, particularly among girls. There is that fear which also rises out of shameful incidents such as these. Medha, we are seeing that women increasingly are seeking economic independence. They want opportunities for career advancement as well. But equal pay for equal work, we have been talking about it. Do you think time has come to talk about it more to ensure that becomes a movement of sort?
Yes, definitely. I think we need to talk about it more and more until we actually get there. All these policies that seem to be in place at the workplace, uh, they're there and they look really good, but when you go to exercise them, and when there's an actual issue and you want it to be resolved at an urgent basis, we most often realize that they're not working. So while some of the things are being done at the surface level, I think it's very urgent to look through these policies and see where they actually take a case till the end, till it is resolved. And I also feel like, as a young professional, I work in a large corporate. I also feel that, while there's a lot of things that is being done for us at the workplace, which is really good, but there's more that needs to be done outside of the workplace. To, like, everyone here has been talking about safety, and I would also like to harp about it, that women's safety is so important, be it at the workplace, while we travel, back at home, and that really needs to be looked into.
Yes, safety, security, social equality. We have been talking about healthcare, education, of course.
Can I add a little on that?
Yes, please go ahead, Dr. Neera.
Yeah, what I wanted to say when she spoke about and you highlighted equal opportunities, I would like to share that in globally and in India, desperately, women doctors do not get enough leadership positions. And there was a beautiful survey on 200 plus global health institutions. And what was seen was 70% of the CEOs were men. And when it comes to middle income countries like India, it was just less than 10%. So here we are in 2018, when the total number of women who joined medical department was 51%, yet they are occupying, not even double digits a number in leadership positions. And when it comes to pay, as you highlighted, if you talk about gender pay discrepancy in all subjects, it's 22%. But statistics say that in health, it is 28% gender pay disparity for the same position between a man and a woman. Yes. And this needs to be truly highlighted.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because we are seeing increasingly that women are working towards challenging stereotypes which have been associated with roles, roles in general, in offices, across the country, across the world. So Khushbu, come in on this. 2024, when we ended that year, there was that challenge which came particularly with the Atul Subhash case, the tech who died by suicide. There is another case which has come up in Delhi today. Do you think women increasingly could face more challenges on that front when it is about dowry related cases? And do you think that could become, take that entire, the path to justice could become even more tougher for women with cases of that nature?
See, Maria, one thing I have to say, that law is catching up when it comes to women and when it comes to need of women in today's age. If you see the 3 new laws which have been enacted, which have been implemented from the 1st of July, specifically deals with aspects of women. And if I have to just bring notice to that, it is with respect to filing of an FIR. A complaint can be done irrespective of jurisdiction. If you're scared and going to one police station, you can go to any police station and get an FIR registered. You can do it online as well, and within 3 days the police officer has to come at home and take a signature from you. From recording of your statement can be done, which can be done online. There can be an compulsory aspect of video recording of your statement so that you're not scared or any kind of tampering is not being done. So we see that there have been a lot of irregularities when it comes to challenges when it comes to law. There is also an aspect of fast track courts with the matters like rape or serious matters, there have been fast track courts that are established, and within 1 year, the case has to be completed without any exception. Now, this is where I say that the fear was not there. There have been a less number of reporting of crimes because of the aspect of, when it comes to policing, when it comes to the delay, when it comes to court matters. So I think there we are bringing in a lot of changes. There have been specific laws which are dealing with women when it comes to marital rape, when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to POCSO and so on and so forth. But I think the real challenge that comes today, and which we are going to see it now as well in 2025, and I'm hoping to change, is the aspect of implementation. The whole aspect lies in the implementation aspect, because irrespective of how many laws you make, how many policies you bring in place, I think people before me were also talking about that there are policies, but the whole problem is the people who need that policy are not aware about it. They don't know where to get that policy, and the implementation is a problem. That's the biggest challenge that we have it. And I think the more government should focus on is bring in one platform wherein you bring in all the policies of women, so that women can check in. If there are some grievances in that portal, that grievances can be going away, right from Beti Padhao, and any kind of social security scheme that you bring in for women. And also when it comes to complaint aspect, I think that's where we're looking into. Apart from this,
point well taken. Yes,
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Khushbu, finish your point, and then I bring in Brinda.
Yeah, apart from this, I would say that we need more of a societal change. We need to stop victimizing the victim. And I think that's the biggest thing which I've been saying from very long, that we need a change in the society wherein we stop victimizing the victim. That's where the whole problem lies, because Maria, today I complain for something. I am the one who's been looked down upon by family, by society, by people around. Absolutely. So I think that's the first change that we need to bring in. Till the time that change doesn't come in, we are not empowering women. And for that, we need more women in the leadership role. We need more women in the policy making aspect. We need more representation in the parliament, so that representation comes over there and they understand the 50% requirement of 50% population, and that aspect is also taken care of. I think I would say, yeah.
I agree with you. It's about equity now, not just about equality anymore. Brinda, thank you, and thank you for your patience, because you have been leading this from front, this entire fight for justice across India. We have spoken on countless occasions in the past as well, Brinda. What are your expectations? What do you want out of this year?
Like all the other panelists have mentioned, all of that, and a concentration on improving policies, bringing in notifications so that accountability is placed on people. Because right now we have a lot of laws, a lot of policies, but we do not have implementation sanctions that can place accountability on anybody, including the judiciary. So that is something that I absolutely would love to have. We need to concentrate on women's health, both physical and mental. We are not giving that space, the time, and the importance required for women's health. And now, because women are multitasking and women are working outside, inside, and like you mentioned, care economy, which is unpaid, largely unpaid, none of this is taken into consideration at our workplaces. So even if a woman comes back after her delivery, that space that she should have got, including a promotion or an increment, is not there for her in the corporate sector. And if you look at the unorganized sector, that is absolutely not there at all, especially domestic workers, daily wage laborers, construction workers. None of this is there. The laws are there, but they cannot enjoy any of these. And talking about POSH, somebody mentioned that. Let us remember that even today, we have over 85% of women who still will not come forward and complain because of retaliation, either directly or indirectly from their colleagues and their offices, as well as from their own families. So all of this requires an accountability to be placed, and that is what we want to happen over there. When we speak of all of this, like you mentioned, equity and positive affirmation of all the benefits that we are talking about, women empowerment, we want men to be empowered. So we want men to join the conversation. This is not a battle only of women, for women, or by women. This is something that is societal mentality and attitude. So we want men to join this struggle and this battle, to talk about respectful, dignified interactions and making spaces and families safer for all. Also remember that domestic violence is not criminalized in our country. There is no law for marital rape. That said, the number of times that a woman who may be working has to attend court is mind-boggling. You mentioned about Atul Subhash, but let's remember over here that if a woman is in charge of the child and she has custody of the child, taking care of the child until the court gives an interim order.
Yes.
Believe me, the law says 48 hours interim order can be given. Nowhere in India has any court given an interim order for a woman to either have protection of the home or for that matter maintenance. So we're looking for all of this to be there, and we want the government to take stock of all this and be responsible to deliver this to women.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing all your thoughts there, Dr. Neelam, Medha, Brinda,
I just wanted to add
Sanchita,
two things. I think women,
Shagun, and Dr. Jyoti, we have really come to the end of
recognition.
this discussion. Of course, let's continue the discussion off air as well. Thank you so much for joining us and wishing all the viewers a very happy 2025.